she said as she saw him walking downstairs after getting ready for office. He just hummed in response and walked towards dining table and sit on the chair and start doing his breakfast silently. Jungkook saw Ryan not having her breakfast, so he gestures her to start eating, and she said, she doesn't know why he cared. Does he really care? But why now? There was a lot of questions in her mind because first month of their marriage he didn't care and act rudely and mostly ignored her. But slowly he started care. But why? Or he is just pretending. She still doesn't trust him. She has trust issues because of her past. It's been 1 month that he slowly started to maybe care for her and start to talk to her a little nicely. And he's also behaving less and less rude with day by day. And she's supposed to be happy about it, but she couldn't. She's supposed to be happy that her husband started to care for her like she always dreamed of. But she couldn't because of all the negative thoughts playing in her mind. In the beginning, when Jungkook's father arranged their marriage, he didn't deny because he knew his father wouldn't stop asking, so he should just get it over with. There was a woman he didn't know, nor did he wanted to know, is living with him now. So he just ignored her until one day when Jungkook was having a headache, so he thought he should go home early and rest. So he came early that day, couldn't find Ryan in their room because he wanted to ask her for water. He himself went to kitchen to drink water, but he stopped when he saw her cooking while slightly singing to herself. He saw her cooking while slightly singing to herself. She seemed completely engrossed in her task, unaware that he was quietly observing her from a distance. It was a new sight for him because he never saw her like this. He even never saw her smile. As he watched her, the sight of her singing with such carefree joy and passion struck a chord within him. It was not just an act of cooking or the melody of her voice, but something deeper that resonated within his emotions. He felt an inexplicable connection to her in that moment, as if he had stumbled upon a glimpse of her true self, unguarded. The feeling that surged in his heart caught him off guard. It was a warmth that softened him, a newfound tenderness he had never anticipated. But uncertain of why he was experiencing such emotions, he found himself pushing them away. It was something he cannot quite pinpoint or rationalize, but it touches his heart in a way he had not experienced before. Mine didn't say anything more and ate her breakfast with Jungkook. And after completing his breakfast, he left for office and Van started doing her chores. Later that night, they both were sleeping peacefully, but Jungkook's eyes stayed open when he heard Van saying, "She is having a nightmare again." His heart ached with concern. The sight of her in distress weighed heavily on him. Each night, as she battled her inner demons in the realm of dreams, he would quietly observe. He tries asking her many times, but she never told him why she always having nightmares. He wants to know what's bothering her. What is it? He wants to take her pain away. He doesn't know what is disturbing her. He knew that waking her abruptly might startle her, and he didn't want to add more distress to her already troubled mind. He gently moved closer to her. He softly whispered reassuring words, hoping that his comforting voice could somehow reach her subconscious and bring some relief. His presence in her unconscious state seemed to have a calming effect on her. As he held her close, he stroked her hair and gently rubbed her back, expressing his love, although she may not have fully aware of his actions at that time. His tender gestures worked their magic on a subconscious level, helping her find a measure of peace amid the torment of her nightmares. After a while, she calmed down and stayed asleep, but he couldn't sleep again. He really wanted to know what is disturbing her and what he felt about her. He stand up from bed and went to his office and took out his journal and started writing to clear his mind. She was having a hard time again, thinking what she should do. In the previous days, he was behaving with her nicely. It was hard for her to not to fall for him because it was after such a long time when someone cared for her. It felt amazing. She was trying to open up with him these days, and now her cousin is trying to win everything for her again. What she should do? She have to think. She was in her thoughts when Jungkook came back from office and she made dinner for them and she acted normal in front of him. She doesn't want him to know anything about it. She will try to solve it herself. She will try to make her cousin understand that she can't ask Jungkook for money because what if he thinks that she is a gold digger? She was having a hard time sleeping, but nonetheless she slept and woke up screaming because of her nightmare. and saw Jungkook looking at her with eyes full of concern. When she looked at him, he hugged her and said reassuring words to calm her down. She doesn't know if she should tell him or not, but at the end she decided to trust him and tell him everything, as she could see the genuine concern in his eyes. Wayne was born into a poor family, struggling to make ends meet, and her life seemed to be a constant battle against misfortune. At the tender age of 5, a devastating fire consumed their small cottage, leaving Wayne's family homeless and with nothing but the clothes on their backs. After a few days, Wayne's parents died because of injuries they had during fire, leaving Wayne orphaned and alone. She was taken in by her distant relatives, who were unkind and treated her as a burden. They forced her to work tirelessly, exploiting her innocence and laboring her like a servant. Wayne's days were filled with chores, harsh words, and constant neglect. The emotional abuse she endured left deep scars on her fragile heart, making her feel unloved and unworthy of kindness. In her teenage years, Wayne's life took a darker turn. A group of local bullies targeted her, making her their regular victim. They mocked her poverty, her lack of parents, and her perceived weakness. The emotional torment she endured at their hands led her to withdraw even further into her shell, making her feel utterly alone and isolated from the world around her. Her aunt and uncle never wanted her to leave the house because they had a free maid and a free girl to take out their anger. Wayne told Jungkook everything about her past, and at the end she was sobbing hard. It was first time she opened up to someone in her life, and she even felt great after sharing, which she bottled up for a long time. Jungkook never felt the love of his parents because they were always busy with their work and business. He was happy having Wayne as his wife. He would do anything for her. From that day on, Jungkook helped her heal. It was not an overnight process, but with Jungkook by her side, Wayne found the strength to comfort her past demons. The journey of healing brought Wayne and Jungkook even closer. Their love grew stronger and they found solace in each other's arms. Wayne knew she was blessed to have a husband who not only accepted her with all her scars, but also played a crucial role in helping her heal. The past is behind you for a reason. Don't go back to it hoping that it will change. No one can change history. It already happened. No one can make a date that and it start again. If you try to change the past, it will only break you again.